This video is about Dark Sister, one of two ancestral swords passed down through House Targaryen, and very brief histories of those that wielded her. Dark Sister is the Valyrian longsword that Visenya, Aegon the Conqueror's eldest sister and wife, wielded. Visenya was said to be skilled in its use, having trained by her brother since childhood. And this sword has seen some things. We know Dark Sister was forged for a woman warrior, so it was designed with a slender blade to fit more comfortably in a woman's hand, and that it was held by at least 4 people. The first, of course, was Visenya, who used Dark Sister all throughout the battles in Aegon's conquest of Westeros. Visenya often carried Dark Sister with her, even after the conquest, and saved King Aegon I's life and her own on at least one occasion. In one story, Visenya even drew Dark Sister and cut her brother husband, King Aegon I's cheek before he could even react. This was done to prove that Aegon I needed better guards. When Visenya passed away in 44 AC, Aenys I, the second Targaryen king to rule Westeros' widow, Queen Alyssa, slipped away from Dragonstone with her children and the sword Dark Sister. For disappearing and taking Dark Sister, Maegor I, the unrightfully, by proper succession, third Targaryen king to rule Westeros, had his nephew, who was Queen Alyssa's next eldest son, Prince Viserys, tortured and questioned by Tyanna of the Tower for 9 days. In the end, Maegor I had left Prince Viserys' mangled, tortured body in the castle courtyard, hoping Queen Alyssa would come to claim her dead 15-year-old son's body. She didn't. Eventually, Maegor I died, and the sword was returned to circulate in the Targaryen family. Whether anyone wielded it before its next known owner, Prince Daemon Targaryen, the rogue prince, is unknown. So the second person to wield Dark Sister, just not take her, was Prince Daemon Targaryen, born 81 AC and brother to King Viserys I, the 5th Targaryen king to rule Westeros. It was King Jaehaerys I, the 4th Targaryen king to rule Westeros, who gave the sword to Prince Daemon Targaryen, who had become a knight at the age of 16, in recognition of his prowess. Prince Daemon is quoted for saying Dark Sister has a thirst for blood. Prince Daemon would take Dark Sister on his conquest and battles, notably when conquering the Stepstones to carve out his own kingdom, as his brother's children pushed him further and further down the line of succession from the Iron Throne. He would later use Dark Sister to kill Lady Laena Velarion's betrothed so Daemon himself could marry her. Eventually, Prince Daemon would marry Rhaenyra Targaryen, Viserys I's daughter, and fight on the Black side, and his wife Rhaenyra's, in the Dance of the Dragons Targaryen Civil War. Though he fought many battles, this is perhaps one of his best. Prince Daemon, at his last known battle, squared off against Aemon One-Eye, the supporter of the Greens and Prince Daemon's nephew, above the God's Eye. Prince Daemon and Aemon One-Eye are fighting in the air on their dragons, hacking and slashing. At one point, Prince Daemon swings one leg over his saddle and leaps from his dragon to Aemon One-Eye's dragon. Aemon One-Eye struggles to undo his chains that secured him to his saddle, but before he can undo them, Prince Daemon takes Dark Sister, rips off Aemon's helmet, and drives the sword into his blind eye so hard the point of the sword comes out the back of Aemon's throat. An instant later, the dragons slam into the lake. Prince Daemon's body was never recovered, but when they found Aemon One-Eye, his skeletal remains were still bound to his saddle, with Dark Sister shoved to the hilt through his eye socket. The next known owner of Dark Sister was Prince Aemon, who was Prince Daemon Targaryen's grandson, born in 136 AC, and also the son of Viserys II, the 10th Targaryen king of Westeros. And Aemon was also the younger brother to Aegon IV, known as Aegon the Unworthy, and the 11th Targaryen king to rule Westeros. Prince Aemon was known as the noblest knight that ever lived. His skill with the sword and jousting were legendary, and he joined the Kingsguard at 17 in 153 AC. He was considered a knight truly worthy of wielding Dark Sister. Among Aemon's exploits, he took part in the Dorne invasion led by his cousin, King Daeron the Young Dragon, the 8th Targaryen king to rule Westeros, and prevented the assassination of King Daeron I when Prince Aemon used his body to protect King Daeron I from a poisoned arrow. Prince Aemon returned to King's Landing to recover, but was quickly back in the fight. After recovering, Aemon returned to Dorne, won many victories, defeated a Dornish champion, and was at the betrayal by the Dornish that ended up killing King Daeron I. The only man to survive the betrayal, Prince Aemon was placed in a cage above a pit of vipers until King Baelor the Blessed, the 9th Targaryen king to rule Westeros, rescued him. Aemon later would defend his sister's honor with Dark Sister, and win in single combat when his sister was accused of adultery and treason. Prince Aemon also entered a tournament as a mystery knight known as the Knight of Tears. This was done to also protect his and Aegon IV's sister's honor, when Prince Aemon found out that King Aegon IV, his brother, was staging the tournament so he could name his mistress the Queen of Love and Beauty, not their sister and Aegon IV's wife. Aemon won the tournament as the Mystery Knight and declared their sister the Queen of Love and Beauty. Aemon eventually died, giving his life to protect his brother, King Aegon IV, to which Aegon really didn't care about and didn't honor Aemon after his death. The last known person to wield Dark Sister was Lord Brynden Rivers, also known as Bloodraven, born 175 AC. He wielded the sword but preferred his weirwood longbow. He was the bastard child of Aegon IV and Melissa Blackwood, who was legitimized at Aegon IV's death. Bloodraven has a very exciting history and deserves his own video, so I won't go too in depth, but Bloodraven served House Targaryen, not the Blackfyres, in multiple Blackfyre rebellions. He was the hand of the king for both King Aerys I, the 13th Targaryen king, and Maekar I, the 14th Targaryen king. In the first Blackfyre rebellion, Bloodraven fought with Dark Sister in single combat against his half-brother, also a bastard legitimized, Bittersteel, and Bloodraven lost his eye in the fight. Bloodraven also ended the second Blackfyre rebellion before it even began by showing up outside a Blackfyre tournament. Finally, when Maekar I died, Bloodraven continued his hand to find a new successor for the throne. When a Blackfyre asked for an audience about inheriting the throne, Bloodraven promised him safe passage to King's Landing to discuss it. However, it was a trap, and Bloodraven had the Blackfyre executed. When Aegon V, the Unlikely, took the throne, he had no choice but to either execute Bloodraven or send him to the Wall, since the Iron Throne's protection and word must mean something. Bloodraven chose the Black. At the Wall, he would eventually rise to be the Lord Commander, but then disappear one day on a ranging mission. It is currently unknown where Dark Sister is after Bloodraven's time with her. Some believe Bloodraven was allowed by King Aegon V to take the sword to the Night's Watch, perhaps because of his long service to the Targaryen family, or simply because Bloodraven was so old, Aegon V thought for sure he would die soon, and then Maester Aemon would simply send the sword back. If Bloodraven did take it to the Wall, did he hide it at Castle Black or any of the other castles? Or did Bloodraven take it with him on his last ranging, where he disappeared? Does that mean Dark Sister is in his cave beyond the Wall, and Bloodraven, now the last Greenseer, is waiting to pass it on to someone else? Did Bloodraven even take it to the Wall with him? He could have left it somewhere in King's Landing, or in any of the numerous tunnels he knew about. If Bloodraven hid Dark Sister in the older Targaryen crypts under the Red Keep, Varys has access to those. Does Varys, also a master of whisperers like Bloodraven, now know where the sword is in King's Landing? Who would Varys give Dark Sister to? Or was Dark Sister taken from Bloodraven while he was in the Black Cells? Does this mean that the sword was given to another Targaryen? Was Dark Sister taken to Summerhall and lost in the catastrophe that occurred there? Was Rhaegar constantly going there to recover the sword? If Rhaegar did recover the sword, and the Lyanna-Rhaegar equals Jon theories are true, did he leave it with Lyanna to prove Jon's parentage? Where is the sword now? Safe with Holland Reed, or buried in the crypt with Lyanna? Until George R. R. Martin releases more material, the current location of Dark Sister is unknown. But what's more intriguing is if the sword resurfaces, who will wield Dark Sister next? A real Targaryen? A fake Targaryen? An unknown Targaryen? Or a favorite of some? No one.